It is the 7th of April. Welcome to Number of the Day, and it is 13. Francis heard, and it is an unlucky number 13, especially if you are a diesel driver. We're now already looking at projections for the diesel price come May of 2026, and it might get worse for us.
Yes, so remember, we've just experienced this incredible hike. At the last minute, government said they would decrease levies, so it wasn't as bad as we expected, but pretty bad. And now the Central Energy Fund does this tally. Every few days, we kind of get where we are, and this is a projection around May based on today's or the first few days of the month, because we're only in the beginning of April, based on the rand exchange rate and the oil price, how much under recovery it's called. How much should fuel cost and how much under recovery is that, because it doesn't cost that much yet. So then you make it up the next month. So for petrol, 95, R13 is the increase that we can look at in May. For 93, R29. And already this is early, right? Yeah. In April.
It might still get worse.
Yeah, and definitely for diesel, it looks much worse than it did last month this time, when we were starting to look at the impact of the Iranian war on our fuel prices in April. So diesel, 0.05%, 13 Rand 7 cents, diesel 0.005%. I think that's the sulfur content. 13 Rand 12 already. So this is looking very bad. And remember that what we've been covering here is Treasury saying they can offer some relief to South African consumers, maybe for 3 months, but beyond that,
the relief you're talking about is this 3 Rand fuel levy, which very graciously, government making it sound like a bit of a gift, but let's be honest, it's making a difference. This 3 Rand is a temporary relief measure. So the numbers you're talking about is not even including the possibility of that 3 Rand coming back in.
Yes, so say there is 3 Rand relief, you're still looking at 10 Rand in terms of diesel. And you, as a diesel driver, know how this is stacking up, especially for people with big cars, although then you have the advantage of being like a mobile storage storage unit, right?
I like how you say that. You say you diesel people. Let me clarify. So I drive a slightly older 4x4, a double cab, which so far has been very, very good for me. But I'm beginning to work, and I don't think this matters, Frans, you tell me, but I don't think it matters at this stage, especially the numbers you're talking about, what LSM you are in, the kind of income that you are accustomed to. We're getting to the sort of fuel prices for diesel, regardless of what your income is. This is beginning to hurt. Just some very basic maths on 80 liters, which is the average tank size for my vehicle, currently as it stands now before this increase, you're looking at about 2,500 Rand, give or take. If this was to go up to 13 Rand come May, if that is to be the case, it's going to be
an extra 13 Rand. Yeah.
You're going to be close to 3,000 Rand for a tank of fuel. And remember, this is not giving you or me, as I cry with Francis, it's not giving me extra mileage. It's the same mileage, just a lot more money. It could be close to 3,000 Rand for a tank of diesel.
Yeah, that is painful. And it'll be really interesting to see how behavior changes. And we were looking at car prices, new vehicle sales. Yeah. Cars have been selling like hotcakes in this country. And we had a really good showing last month, March, despite the predictions that fuel prices will go up. But are people going to change their behavior? Are they still going to buy new cars? Yeah. Are they still going to drive diesel cars? Are they going to consider electric vehicles? We'll see, because the war is dragging on. And the big thing for the lower income groups and everybody is the food prices that may now increase, because diesel is so important for our economy, especially because our trains don't work like they used to. Transnet is trying, but a lot of freight is still carried on roads.
And I think those of us who watch the podcast here on eNCA will know I had an interview with Michael Pashut. He's the CEO and founder of Change Cars just a few days ago. Go look for Making Sense, by the way, on eNCA.com and for the podcast. He was saying right now, this is beginning of April, so things have changed very quickly.
Yeah.
He was suggesting it's a knee-jerk reaction. Don't go trade your car in. Don't downscale your car. But now you bring in this potential extra 13 Rand. And I wonder what Michael has to say about that. Perhaps an interview for another day. But all of this, and you've raised this before, is about the longevity of this ongoing war that is taking place in the Middle East. And right now, off the back of Donald Trump's tweets or posts on social media, doesn't sound like it's going to end anytime soon.
No, so right now, whenever this is released in a couple of hours from the recording, we'll still be less than 24 hours to the US President Trump's deadline for Iran to open the Strait of Hormuz.
Yep.
Otherwise, over the Easter weekend, there was that expletive he used and he called them bastards and he said, open the straits or...
You've been very diplomatic about how you said it.
I'm trying to think what we can say on the podcast. How
do we say it without swearing?
So his recent social media post saying a whole civilization may die. And I don't know if that rhetoric is better or worse than kind of just off-the-cuff swearing because... And people are talking about the potential for war crimes because you shouldn't target civilian energy infrastructure, water, things that supply people's homes with water power, unless it's justified because of some war reason. So that is going to happen. We've heard deadlines before, though. Iran, I don't know, he says it may be avoided. Nobody knows where Iran stands right now, but we'll see what happens. By the next time we record, we will know. But if this does play out and there are attacks and then Iran has said retaliation if red lines are crossed, we're talking about an escalation, not a de-escalation, right?
So as we land this plane right now, the number of the day, 13 for diesel drivers, but let's be honest, early in what is April, things could change very quickly by the time you and I sit here again in a few days' time.
Yeah, but what's important is that already the numbers are stacking up badly. As we sort of progress into April. So more than 13, the under recovery on diesel, in a sense, a projection of what we could see in terms of an increase next month.